Hey guys, Professor Protoss here. Welcome back to another one of my videos. If you watched my last video, I gave my 5 main points to work on in order to get better at Starcraft. Last video we focused on macro. Someone recently brought to my attention that I didn't explain properly why I picked the list that I did. To recap, I placed the 5 most important things as number 1 macro, number 2 multitasking, number 3 build orders, number 4 micro, and number 5 strategy. The reason I chose macro, short for macro management, as so important is because it's the backbone of what Starcraft is as a game. Building an army bigger and quicker than your opponent is the easiest road to victory. Sadly, it's the hardest mechanic to learn at first. Multitasking, the second most important thing, and the focus of today's training, goes hand in hand with macro. Because Starcraft is such a fast game, as a beginner, we will need to spend all of our actions and all of our brain power just building things and spending our income as quickly as possible. But doing only that isn't enough to get to a higher level. We'll need to learn to do that as muscle memory, and at the same time, scout what our opponent is doing and properly control our armies. I still think practicing building a 200-200 army versus a computer as soon as you can, and many times over and over, is the best way to get good at macro, and hopefully it becomes muscle memory too. But if you've done that a lot, and you think that you're ready, today we're going to practice macro and keeping a worker alive at the same time while scouting our opponent. We'll be playing versus a computer again, which I know is pretty boring, but trust me, the training will pay off. So for starters, we're going to go ahead and create a custom game. The way this training works is we're going to play a 2-player map. I like Destination as a choice. I'm going to pick Protoss again, and I'm going to make the computer Zerg. We're going to play, and we're going to macro like normal. Basically, I'm going to try and build workers. I'm going to try and build my army. I'm going to try and build my pylons before I get supply blocked. But this time at 8 supplies, when I build my first pylon, I'm going to send my worker to the Zerg base, and I'm going to attack his hatchery. Because it's a computer, it's automatically going to try to kill my probe with all of its drones. So what I'm going to have to do at the same time while building my base is switch between my probe and my base, run away from the drones so it doesn't die, and switch back to my base and build my buildings. This will be much harder than last lesson, and it's okay if you fail and mess up. But the more you practice it, the better you'll be good at it. Better you'll be good at it. It's very important to do this against a computer, that way you don't get discouraged from doing it online. So I'm just going to start the game. So if we remember, we're going to send our probes to the minerals, we're going to split them, and we're going to build a probe. So the most important thing that we're going to do in these videos is hotkeys. We're going to hotkey our nexus to 0, or I like 0 because it's close to P. To hotkey our nexus, hold control and hit 0. And this way I can hit 0 and hit P for probe without having to look at my base. For example, I could be over here, hit 0 and P, and build a probe. If I double tap 0, it'll switch me back to my nexus immediately. This is key for switching back and forth between your forces and your workers and your buildings. Best way to multitask is to hotkey your units. So now I'm at 8 supply, I'll grab my probe, I'm going to build my first pylon. Because I chose a 2-player map, I'm going to send it to where I know exactly the computer is. What we also need to do is grab this probe and hotkey it to 1 by hitting Control and 1 at the same time. Now we can double tap 0 and get back to my nexus, and hit P to build a probe. At the same time, I can double tap 1 and see what my probe is doing, and double tap 0 to get back to my base. So just like before, when you have enough money, we're going to build a gateway in no particular order. And then we're going to build a probe as soon as this probe finishes. Now I noticed on the map that my probe is in his base. Double tap 1 to get to my probe, attack the hatchery, and run for your life. So what you're going to do is click away, and then click over here as far away as possible. Double tap 0, hit P, and this time we'll build a gas. Double tap 1, and click way down here. Double tap 0, hit P, and we're going to hotkey our gateway with Control 4. Double tap 1, run over here, click way over here. Go back to our base with double 0, build a probe. So the easiest thing you can do to keep your probe alive is to click very far away and then go back to your base build a probe. This gives you a little bit of time to switch between your probe and your base. When my simulator's done, I will grab my probes and send it to the simulator. So it's okay if your guy's probe dies at first. This is very difficult to do at first. If it happens, it's okay. Beat the computer or restart the mission. All I'm doing is double tapping 0 and hitting P, double tapping 1 and clicking over here. Double zap 0, double tap 4. Forgot my pylon, double zap 0, hit P, it's almost done. Double tap 4, hit Z, double tap 1, click over here, double tap 0, hit P. I have too many guys on gas. Let's build another gateway. Remember, we still, whoa. I wanna run away. Oh, attack his hatchery, he's not chasing me. Run, 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 run. Double tap 0, hit P. We want to try and keep our money down too. So I'm still going to follow no particular build order and build a cybernetics core. Double tap 1. I accidentally slowed the game down. Double tap 0, hit P. Let's build a pylon. Double tap 1, click way down here. So I'm not going to make this video too long. I know this is going to be something that you need to practice on your own, but the main thing is hotkey your probe, hotkey your nexus, hotkey your gateway. I made a second gateway. I'll hotkey that one by hitting Control and 5. I'll hit 1 1 to get to my probe. I'll click way over here. I'll hit 0 0 to get to my nexus. I'll hit P for probe. And I'll make a pylon. Stop chasing me again. I'm going to attack his hatcheries and run for my life. 4Z, 5Z, 1 1, click away, 0 0 P. It's hard to talk and play, but this is something you guys have to do. Only way to get good at this game is to get good at hotkeys. If this is too difficult, just go back to building a base as much as you can, as fast as you can, and practice macro. 4Z, 5Z to build more zealots. 0P to build another probe. Click very far away. 1 1 to switch back to your probe. Build a pylon when that pylon finishes. I can't really keep track because it's kind of hard to run away from these guys at the same time. Build a citadel. We'll hit 1 1. We'll run away. We'll hit 0 0 P. We'll attack this extractor. I want him to chase me again. We'll run way down here. 4Z, 5Z. Keep building. Luckily, the units scream out my life for ire when they're done, so that I know to go back to my gateways and hit 4Z, 5Z. But I need to be able to switch back and forth between my worker, this guy, and my nexus by double tapping 0 and hitting P, double tapping 1 and grabbing my worker. Okay, we're just going to keep doing this, and once the money piles up, you take another base. There is no build order to fall. Look at that, I lost my probe. Even someone who's pretty good like me can lose their probe. We'll just send another one. Grab him, Control 1, send him out. 4Z, 5Z. Build another base. 0 0 P. Guys, you gotta make sure you're making probes. You gotta make sure you're making pylons. And you have to make sure you're spending money. Hotkey this to 9. 0 0 P. 9 9 this. 1 1 to get to my probe. Does it make sense? Very difficult, but it's something that you have to practice, and it's something you have to practice a lot to get good at. Okay, don't worry about the build orders yet, because that'll come later. What we need to get good at is making this probe run away and see what he's doing while building more zealots, building more pylons, building more nexuses. I'm gonna attack his extractor. Oh, he made a sunken colony? What a jerk. Alright, well, I'm gonna end the video here, but you get the picture. Try to practice this on your own. Practice against a computer, because if you practice against players, you might get discouraged. I know it'll be boring at first, but the more you practice, the better you'll get. And all you have to do is try to keep your probe alive as long as possible, and build your army as quick as possible, while spending your money as quick as possible. I'll see you guys next time for the next video. Next video, we'll talk about build orders. If you think you're ready, we'll go into why build orders are important, and you know, how they're going to help you progress as a player. Until then, I'm signing off. Oh, make sure that if you want to replay submitted, to send it to professorprotoss@gmail.com. I will review it for you for free, make a video about it, and teach you guys just with replay analysis. But until then, I'm signing off. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe.